Oh man, out of all the hot takes I've had over the month, so over the year doing YouTube, out of all the things I've said on this channel, this one is probably up there. It's on the leaderboard for being the most controversial, because I know for a fact, based on comments I've gotten on other videos regarding Mario Kart Tour, that most of you guys, I would wager to say like 90% of you guys, do not agree with me on this on any level. But I do sincerely believe that in order to succeed, or at least in order to succeed more than it would otherwise, Mario Kart Tour needs to have microtransactions. And I'm not talking like Super Mario Run, like paying for the full game microtransaction. I'm talking about full-on Clash of Clans, Candy Crush style. Fire Emblem Heroes is a good example of microtransactions. I know a lot of you disagree, but I have 5 good reasons that I think really do showcase why not only it's the right business move for Nintendo, but it will lead to a better game. I know that sounds crazy, but just hear me out. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Hot Takes. I'm Thomas from the Switch Stop, and let's get right on into the video. What's up guys, it's Thomas from the Switch Stop. As I just said, welcome to Hot Takes. This is the show where I state something controversial and try to defend it with facts and my general gaming opinion, and all the while I try to dodge dislike bombs. However, with that being said, as I stated in the start of this video, this is probably the most controversial thing I've ever said on my channel. So, yeah, I'm sure that some of you will already have the dislike button held down from the second you clicked on this, but this video isn't really for you then. It's just for anyone who's willing to listen to me, willing to hear me out. You can disagree with me after I've made my points, that's fine, but at least give me a platform to explain these 5 points. So with that out of the way, no more waffling around, let's get right on into the points. These aren't in any particular order, but starting up with number 1, it financially makes sense for Nintendo. If you look at Nintendo's past mobile games, you have Super Mario Run. I'm not counting Miitomo because that's dead and not even really a game. Starting off, you have Super Mario Run. Flopped pretty much. Super Mario Run did not perform how Nintendo wanted it to. You can look it up. They stated this in a financial meeting back in 2017, I think, early 2017, because the game came out late 2016. They stated that Super Mario Run did not perform up to expectations, and it was just not a success at all. Look into Nintendo's next big mobile game, Fire Emblem Heroes. That game is off the charts. It still is performing incredibly well, but especially back when it launched, it was so far off the charts. Nintendo was wowed by it. They had no earthly idea that Fire Emblem of all franchises could net them this much money. And if you look at the charts, the last 2 games Nintendo has made, Animal Crossing Pocket Camp, I almost said Amiibo Festival, oh my god, and Dragalia Lost, both made a substantial amount of money, nowhere near Fire Emblem Heroes, but also not nearly as bad as Super Mario Run. Now, if you look at it, Mario Run didn't have in-app purchases, and I know that there was technically one in-app purchase in that game where you could buy the entire game, but that's pretty much just buying the game straight up. Instead, the game let you have a free trial. I know some smart asses are going to be typing in the comments like, but Mario Run did have a microtransaction, but it doesn't count. We both know it doesn't count. Let's move on. Fire Emblem Heroes was littered with microtransactions. Not saying it's a bad thing. As I'll get to later, microtransactions aren't necessarily bad, but it had a lot of microtransactions, and just look at how much better the game did. Not to mention, this is with Fire Emblem. I know Fire Emblem's a pretty big thing in Japan, and thanks to Smash Bros, it's gotten relatively big in its own right in the States and in Europe and other territories, but I mean, just like Mario, besides Pikachu and Pokemon, Mario is the most iconic video gaming character, and I'm pretty sure he's one of, if not the most iconic characters out there in media. I think Mario, Mickey Mouse, as I said before, Pikachu, I think those are the big 3. If you look at, like, I can't think of anything else that's higher in terms of just everyone, seniors, young kids, anyone in between knows Mario. So if Fire Emblem Heroes can do that well with microtransactions, imagine what a Mario Kart game could do. That's enough on that topic though. Pointing up to number 2, I gotta go with the constant updates that games like that receive. Now, here you gotta hear me out, because Mario Run, while yes, it has gotten some updates, it got that big like Mix 10 thing where they added in Daisy of all characters and a brand new mode that happened earlier this year, I think February, but that is not a really big addition. It did add in a bit more content, but they haven't really added in anything else besides that, besides the occasional new little update to Toad Rally or whatever they do over there. But if you look at Fire Emblem Heroes, personally, I have not played Fire Emblem Heroes because I'm not really into Fire Emblem, but I have my Twitter notifications on for Nintendo, my Nintendo News Go Nintendo, and a ton of other Nintendo news sources, just so I can get you guys the news as fast as it comes out, basically. But, like, holy crap, the amount of Fire Emblem Heroes summoning things, the amount of updates, the amount of everything that game receives is just insane, even now, 2 years after its release, basically. This ties back into thing number one. Nintendo's not going to support a game that doesn't get a lot of money, because that's not how businesses work. That's how Mafia works. No, seriously, Nintendo won't take a game that had, like, I don't know, a couple million downloads and repeatedly spend a lot of development costs updating it and putting in quality and time and care into every aspect of it, when they could do that exact same thing to a game that got a couple 100 million downloads and just get a ton more money. That's just how businesses work. So if Nintendo does add in microtransactions, then they're gonna want to update the game, because microtransactions are the gift that keeps on giving in a business's eyes. Once someone pays the $10 for Mario Run, they bought the game, why add in more content for them? In terms of microtransactions, you want to keep adding new stuff so they keep purchasing. That's why I want microtransactions, so we keep getting new updates and the game stays fresh. This leads right on into point number 3. I want to keep going back to this game. I know this will be kind of controversial, but here, this whole video is at this point. You just got to hear me out. With a mobile game, I don't want some vast experience. I don't like mobile games for the most part that have point A to point B storylines or stuff like that. Sure, there are some exceptions to the rule. Obviously, there are some incredible mobile games, specifically by the studio Mika Mobile, that have fantastic single-player campaigns. I'm talking top-tier quality stuff. Like, this stuff could be on consoles. It probably should be on consoles. I'm sorry, I'm done with Mika Mobile. They're just really, really good. I have to mention them. But besides that, I like games that they never necessarily end. Think Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, like you're always competing to be the best. The point of a mobile game for me is something I can keep returning to when I don't have my Switch or any other device with me and it's just me and my phone. I always want to be able to go back to that game, and that's why I want it to have microtransactions, because microtransactions, as we already established, means more updates, and that means I can keep going back to these games. Another thing I want is an online component. I'm just gonna be blunt here. Nintendo doesn't like doing online much. They've gotten better about it over the past couple of years, but originally they said online was just a fad and it was gonna die out. And then after they accepted that it was maybe here to stay, they kinda butchered online in games such as Super Smash Bros. Brawl and other Wii titles. I think Mario Kart Wii's online was okay, like it performed, but the system was just bad. There were many systems that are just bad. Nintendo hasn't really gotten online great in a game besides Splatoon, and even then it's spotty at times. So I would just like to say that Nintendo will not give this game online servers or good online servers unless they know it will make them a ton of money. And the only thing that's been proven to make them a ton of money is microtransactions. Therefore, by that logic, which makes complete sense in my eyes, if they do not put in microtransactions, they won't be able to spend money on the servers, or they won't think that they can spend as much money on the servers in order to make a profit, so they're not going to have as much online or reasonable online. It could be the difference between uploading a ghost and racing against your friend's ghosts, or literally racing against your friends one-on-one. One of those would be okay, one of those would be amazing. So yeah, microtransactions obviously mean an online component. There's not really a single game I can think of that has microtransactions that isn't really including some online component, at least a leaderboard or something, because why would you spend money in a single player game that no one else is going to see how good you are? Like, it just, I don't know, it doesn't really make sense. Think Clash of Clans, Clash Royale, Pokemon Go, all those are really multiplayer focused games, and that's what I want Mario Kart Tour to be. Last but not least, I would just like to say this. Personally, I know most people don't like straight up purchasing mobile apps. I know a lot of my friends at school ask me a lot about Mario Kart Mobile because I brought it up one day and they're like, no way, that's sick. But then they keep asking me every day, like, yo, when's it coming out? I'm like, it hasn't changed. It's coming out March this year. And they're like, no trailers or anything. And one thing we often discuss is what would happen if the game costs money, because a lot of them aren't going to pay for the game if it costs money. They're really excited about it and they'll download it if it's free, but I know for a fact that some of my friends won't want to pay money for the game, especially considering they might not even play it for a long time. Now, yeah, that's a small subset of about the 10 kids that I was talking to about this, but if you kind of expand that, that's a lot of potential market Nintendo could be losing out on. It's no secret that if there's a free game, people are going to download it way more often than if the game costs $2 to download. Now, yeah, they could always do that thing that they did with Mario Run, but I'm still hiding behind the fact that that doesn't really count because it's a free trial and then you still pretty much have to pay for the actual game. I'm just saying that if they put in microtransactions, they would be able to have a way deeper player base, as I personally know many people who would love to play Mario Kart on their phones. And hell, if they get hooked, I could even see some of my friends paying in-app purchase money. But they would not want to buy a game straight up just because it's a weird commitment to buy a game for your phone, especially when you're like, okay, well, I just spent $20 on a phone game. I could have been using that to pay for my next actual PC game. It's a lot more easy to commit to a purchase once you're like, oh, damn, I've actually sunk like a considerable amount of time into this game. I'm really having fun with it. While, yeah, this $20 could go to my next PC game, I'm having a lot of fun with Mario Kart Tour. I might as well just give back to what I'm having fun with. Last thing, I know this isn't one of my 5 points, but just keep in mind that not all in-app purchases are bad. I think any game that has you pay money should not also have in-app purchases. That's just me. I don't think that the like Call of Duties or whatever where you have to pay $60 and then you can also pay for more stuff. I just think that's stupid. Now, I'm kind of a hypocrite because I've been playing a ton of Rainbow Six Siege and really enjoying it, but at least that game has a really easy way to unlock the new operators, and sure, I'd like it if you could gain renown, which is that game's currency, a bit more frequently, but what are you gonna do? However, in terms of a free game, in-app purchases are fine. The only time I'm really against in-app purchases in a free game is when it's to speed up something, like spend gems to upgrade your town hall faster, because I think if you're actively trying to send a player away from your game, like, okay, come back in 12 hours when you can actually complete this mission, I just think that's kind of stupid. But with that out of the way, thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, then please check out some of the other hot takes I've had. The playlist will be linked on screen. Or check out any other video from this channel. YouTube will automatically recommend one to you, which will be linked on screen as well. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. I'm Thomas on the Switched Up, signing off. Peace.